Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Dom Miguccioni here with more quick and accessible health and fitness tips. This video is accompanying a blog post I'm doing called a summer reset. That's just a little name I came up with. Basic idea is I'm going to be taking 2 weeks to focus in on nutrition and exercise to help get ready for the summer, mostly in the sense of dialing in those routines and habits to set myself up for success. It's not a summer shred program or anything like that. 2 weeks is very short in duration. But the reason I'm doing it, and which may be helpful if you've ever found yourself in this situation, is it's been a long, long year, really, but a long couple of months at work, been pretty stressful. And what I found that I was doing was my routine was slipping a little bit in the area of nutrition. So more snacks, figured like, oh, no big deal. I'll just have this snack. Not going to matter. Have a beer on Wednesday. And before long, that added up a little bit and it just sort of became part of my routine, which I realized that's not really what I want to be doing. So the only thing that didn't really slip during this period of time, busy, high stress, was I was able to keep my exercise routine up. So I was happy about that, but I figured, okay, rather than trying to go at this slowly, I'm just going to take a 2 week period of time. I'm going to make myself a plan and I'm going to stick to it. So, what I realized that I could do in this situation to help reset some habits is identify some groups of foods or ingredients that I would like to completely eliminate, just to reset those patterns. I chose for myself sugar, particularly added sugar, artificial sweeteners, grains. So for me, all grains, seed oils. So any of the processed oils, think like vegetable oil, canola oil, etc. Alcohol. And I chose meat as well because I'm doing a vegetarian keto program just as a little bit of an experiment. So rather than listing out a lot of different junk foods that I want to eliminate, I could say like Doritos, Lay's potato chips, Lay's sour cream. If you eliminate seed oils and grains, you're going to be getting rid of every processed snack food and added sugar as well. A lot of those have sugar in them, even some of the chips. So if you take a more broad approach and you identify ingredients and food groups that you want to stay away from, that can be a little bit easier than trying to bullet list out. So I wanted to simplify it for myself, so I did that. And the vegetarian keto is something I'm trying out. I felt like I had decent success doing the keto diet back in September of 2020. So the one challenge that I ran into for myself, so keto for the basic concept is high fat, moderate protein, and low carb. So the high fat and low carb, a lot of people get, but the moderate protein sometimes people miss. So what I found is that if I didn't pay attention to the protein count, it was easy to go over. So I thought if I do vegetarian, meaning I can still have full fat dairy and eggs, then that will probably be easier to keep it within the protein range. The other thing I added in for this routine to really focus on and dial in is intermittent fasting. So you'll see that in the blog post. What I'm doing is I'm setting a target where I want to try to work in a longer fast each day. Sometimes a little bit longer, sometimes maybe like 20 hours plus, sometimes 14 hours. And I have a goal in the program that I want to try a 48-hour fast. I haven't really successfully done that before, and I've heard there's some good benefits. So I'm interested in trying that out. Got one more week to plan it out and work it in. So the other part of the program is exercise. So I want to make sure I set myself some targets for exercise. I want to strength train a few times a week, do some jogging, some cardio, and want to make sure I get out and exercise a few times a week as well outside. Take advantage of that. So this video is week one. So that's sort of the setup of the program. The summary of week one is I felt that for me, it went very well. I was able to be disciplined and avoid all those groups of foods that I set out to do. I was able to stay in compliance with my keto. And for me, that's eyeballing it, right? So I'm not, in this routine, I'm not counting macros, I'm not counting calories. I'm sort of eyeballing it based on experience. So there can be pros and cons to doing that. One area where I had a bit of a challenge this week is I didn't plan ahead when I went out to eat. So if you're doing any sort of a nutrition routine, whether it be keto or not, you can go out to eat. Absolutely. You just want to make sure that you have a plan. So I didn't have a plan. Got to a restaurant and I thought, oh, tomato soup, that sounds great. I don't really order tomato soup a lot. And I was told later that, yeah, usually they put sugar in tomato soup. I could taste it right away. I'm like, oh yeah, well, that's kind of a fail for the day. And I ordered a wedge salad, which was very good. Had some nice blue cheese, some vegetables, um, had some bacon crumbles on there, which I allowed myself. I said, okay, well, it's not vegetarian, but it's not like a steak. So, that was something I just dealt with and enjoyed, and it was fine. But when I looked back, I said, okay, like I could have probably planned that out a little bit better. I could have asked some questions, could have looked at the menu in advance before I sat down and I was hungry and I just wanted something. So that was my takeaway for the week, was that did a really good job dialing it in. And if I had planned ahead, I could have like really had 100% on plan and been successful there. But I give myself about a 95% for the week. Exercise was on point. I had to work around a little bit of a tight hip flexor, but I was able to make every workout, do something every day. I did a lot more stretching as a result of the hip flexor. The nutrition was on point. So I found it to be very successful for me. If you check out the blog post, you can see the day by day breakdown, sort of the written plan related to the intermittent fasting and the vegetarian keto. Looking ahead to next week, we have family vacation coming up. So I've got one more week where I'm trying to dial in these habits so then I can make myself a nice plan for vacation to probably get a few runs in, have some treats, but also really continue this progress and not, roll into summer going completely overboard in every area. So I'll have another post coming next week, another video to go with it. Hope you enjoy, and we'll see you soon.